his balance forward and bring forward the legs. Okay, so scoop underneath his hand. I move my hip out with my palm pressing on his wrist. And angle out. I sit up, grab my own wrist. I like to collapse my own elbow, and then use the inside of my thigh to move once and then twice. Okay? I can connect onto my own ankle, onto his hip, whatever. But I want to be looking at his head as we go into the Kimura. Okay? I want to be looking at him. It's very common for beginners to stay flat on their back. Okay? And then they end up using their arms, but he's got a lot of flexibility. So I want you on the inside hip, looking at him. Okay? If you want to pull this into your chest, that's fine. Then you can turn this one unit and it makes it really tight. Okay. So the basic, and then we can get some more advanced variations. So I'm here. I personally don't like to use the thumb for this Kimura. There are arm locks where you use the thumb, and we can go into more detail about that in a sec. But I like to not use the thumb and press with my palm. Once you get into pressing with the palm, it's used for all kinds of things, including guard passing, Kimuras, arm locks, etc. Well, here we are. One more time. Okay, raise posture. Hip out, sit up, collapse that arm. 1, don't settle there. 2, be on that inside hip and look at his head as you take that Kimura. Okay? All right, guys. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now let's go from the Kimura, from the guard, into a hip bump, because this is something where you can really feel the Jiu in Jiu Jitsu, the blending, like yielding to his resistance. So boom, I bring it down. Everyone looked pretty good with the Kimura. I break his balance. Once my shoulder touches, then he postures up. Now his goal is to slip his elbow past my elbow. That's his goal. And actually in Jiu Jitsu, getting your knee past their knee and guard passing and getting your elbow past their elbow is really what it's all about. Okay, so he wants to slip that elbow up and he postures up. And if I just let go, then I've lost him. But if I come and go with it, as he postures up, I come up on my hand, I let my toes go flat, and then I tip him over. I just took advantage of his energy. And we're able to come into a really nice dominant position. So that's the game we're going to play. We're going to play the Kimura hip bump game. Now he will not pull up until my shoulder touches the ground, and then he pulls up. My hand goes back. Let's check this out. So I'm here. I come up for the Kimura. I break his balance. My shoulder touches, then he pulls up. Okay, and then I come up on my hand. Now the elbow is what a lot of people will go to. But if you're fighting something much larger than you are, the elbow's not going to cut it. You have to go to your hand. So you have to get into. So I touch my shoulder. He pulls up. You got to get into coming to that palm on the ground. Again, palm pressure. And then I can tip him over. And then we can go back into a Kimura. So we will continue to do the Kimura from the guard, and then we're just going to link that. Okay, so I'm here. He does not pull up. He goes with it until my shoulder touches. Then he comes up. Then I go to my palm. And then I just roll him over. Okay. And from here we have a lot of different options. Okay. All right. 1, 2, 3. There are so many techniques in Jiu-Jitsu. It's a technique for everything. It's a technique to fold your gi, it's a technique to tape your fingers, it's a technique for every kind of situation, and sometimes the simple techniques get overloaded. But I really believe in the hip bumps. I don't do mine I'll show you some different ways that people do this sweep. Now, sometimes people will, there's tricky variations where I'll actually punch and he catches his balance, but my hips are already engaged, so then I can just take it forward. Okay. I've even fallen for that one. Or you can come up and you really like thrust your hips forward and take them over. I tend to do more of a tipping variation where I like to come up like this, and then, so I'm really high, as opposed to being more out, and then taking them over. You know, you can vary your angle, but still get a really good hip bump, okay? Hip bump is powerful, it's simple, and I'd like to just show you a couple variations where people, when people get really good posture in the guard, you can't break them down, so he's resisting you pulling him down like that. Yeah, that's perfect. That's when you can go into your hip bump quite easily. I've wrestled a number of guys that were really tall, like 6'8", and what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gotta go to them. If you need to move your hip back, that's okay. Right? You need to move your hip back. It's always okay to move your hip. Sit up. You want to swipe that elbow so he can't face out, and then come up. Okay? So we're going to just have our partner's posture. So we can't pull them. We can't pull them forward. They're resisting back. Exactly. So I have to come to him and take him over. Okay? You'll find this very, very useful. Let's give that a go. 1, 2, 3. Here's a couple of ideas for some of the more advanced people. You know, this is great if you can get up here. Sometimes they freeze you out by pushing into your hips real hard, and you can't. That's when you can go out. You change the angle. Instead of going up, you go out that way. It's just another thing to think about. Number 2, very often, like sometimes I'll go and I don't budge him. But then I'll hang out here and I attack for the guillotine, and if he postures up, well, then I go back. And if that doesn't work, then I attack for the guillotine again, he postures up, and so you can play that corner. You can play that corner. You don't have to play the whole body, you can just play that top corner. And in a similar way to us getting the Kimura and him posturing up, it's similar if you can get the guillotine. We're not going to really go into the guillotine right now. But when he postures up, that's another perfect opportunity to do the hip bump. So now let's continue with that Kimura, and we'll finish that Kimura on top. So I'm here, he postures up, I go to the hand, toes are flat, no smash toes here. Toes are flat, I'm taking over, and I like to hug my elbow right above his elbow. Here I'm gonna snap that on the wrist, connect to my own wrist, and I back step, I square my hips, and I'm gonna switch my hips one more time, knee underneath that armpit, and now I have space. Before, I'm trying to rotate and extend, so I can't get enough extension, so I roll back with my body and then go into the Kimura from here. Okay. So you don't have to switch your hips, you can also pull him back and extend into it, but you have to have a really good connection with your chest to his chest in order to do that. So we'll be doing some things from here, from this side control Kimura. Let's rotate a little. Side control Kimura, okay? You don't have to have your palm on it. You can have your own wrist on it. That's totally cool. Switch. Oh. And if you need more stability, you can step over the head and then extend. All good. Okay, so we'll link that all. So we go for the Kimura, we break his balance, he postures up, I go to my hand, I take him over, I connect my hands in the Kimura, and then I back step. Back step is really useful in Jiu Jitsu. It allows you move backwards, but you keep moving forwards. All right, so then I switch my hips, one more time, extend, get the submission. You can even throw this over. And if he's really strong and continues up, then you have the triangle plus the key. Guys, let's try that. 1, 2, 3. Kimura is, I feel it's almost like a jab. You attack it all the time, they'll react to it. And it's there more than you think. It's there much more than you think. Okay, so we're going to start from side control and go into the ude garami. Ude garami is arm entanglement. So the americana, the straight arm lock, the bent arm lock. Just get everyone on the same page, then we'll do some crazy wrist stuff. So here we are in our Kimura position. Perfect. Now, couple notes. If you find it difficult to reach your own wrist, you're probably going under the shoulder too much. Yes, this is nice to be able to get under that little gap, but then you have to work your elbow out toward his elbow, and you'll be able to assemble your Kimura. Okay, and this is going to be much tighter as well. Number 2, try to get your elbow on the ground as quickly as you can. That's really going to help. So, if you start under the shoulder, work your elbow out, drop that other elbow down. Now we have a nice Kimura. He doesn't like this. The bent leads into the straight, so he straightens his arm, and I'm gonna flow with it, okay? My forearm is very close to his elbow, so I can press up and down, rolling this wrist up, this wrist goes down, and we get the straight arm lock, okay? If I'm down here at the shoulder and he straightens his arm, that's a totally different thing. So, we're here, he straightens, my arm's already in position. If I need to move my elbow up a touch, that's totally fine, okay? And this is another reason why I prefer not to use the thumb, because as he extends, it's easy for that to slip out of my fingers. It's much better if I can allow him. Jiu-Jitsu is all about variable friction. I let it slip and then I put on the brakes. So this is a very important transition. Let's just do this particular transition and focus on it. We're in the Kimura, he straightens his arm, I'm gonna let it slip until I don't. And then I roll this wrist up and that wrist down and I get the straight arm lock. Okay, one last time. We're here, drop the elbow down, he straightens it out, boom. Now for the advanced people, when really strong and sweaty people do this, very often that will slip out. So I want you to add 20% to it. What I mean is I'm gonna shift this up as he straightens it out. I'm gonna add 20% to an angle that he's not expecting, okay? So even if he does it really fast, boom, you head up there and you have it, okay? So one last time, the basic is here, he straightens, allow it to happen, roll the wrist up and down. If you're more advanced, go ahead and add just a little bit to it. Okay? Kimura into straight arm. 1, 2, 3. Sometimes arm length differences make this a tough technique on some people. I happen to have long arms, so I use it on all the time. But the length of your limbs does play a role, but there's always a technique for you in Jiu-Jitsu, remember that. Okay, so if, just one thing to keep in mind, if your elbow's here underneath the shoulder and he straightens it out, it's cool to make a big army move, like an army crawl with that elbow, and then we're in good position. Okay. So that's, just like adjusting your hip, it's cool to adjust your elbows. He straightens it out, but I'm on his tricep with that bottom wrist. I'm not under the elbow. Just shift that elbow to the outside and then we got it. Okay, so the next thing is we have to do an arm switch. This is what I call the Kimura flip. We start with Kimura, we go to straight arm lock, boom, he doesn't like that, he rolls it up, okay? Here, I'm gonna pull this to my chin and I rock back a little bit so my arm can come underneath, and then I slap this down. And don't drop the elbow on the face here. We're just dropping it next to his ear, okay? Getting the back of his hand on the mat like a paintbrush. And then we draw the elbow down, elevate, okay? So, if you try doing this at a really high angle, where his humerus is in line with his shoulders, he's got a huge range of flexibility. And a lot of guys use this as an escape route, okay? So, you want to pull that sucker down as far as you can, and then the range of motion is really, really small. Okay? This is often called the paintbrush technique because that's the brush. This is a canvas. Okay? We want to leave that back of the hand in touch with the mat. So then we're gonna reverse. He straightens it out, boom. And if I need to do a little army crawl with my elbow, totally cool. Boom, then he rolls it down. I'm gonna have to do the switch again. Come underneath, I pull this to my chin, okay? I want this pinned with my body as my arm transitions underneath. Come into the Kimura, okay? He straightens, oh, we have it right there. He rolls it up, bring it to your chin, arm goes under, slap that down. We got americana. He straightens, oh, that's totally cool. Oh, that's like the 20%, but the other way, right? So he straightens it out. Oh, no, that's totally cool. He rolls it down one more time. Keep it here, okay? And if you want, of course, you can do like a one-arm variation as well. Okay, so that's the Kimura flow. Start with the Kimura, straighten it out, americana. Go back. You have to do an arm switch at the end, but you guys got this. 1, 2, 3. I attack this far side arm quite a bit from a variety of positions, but I like to teach it from basic side control. Okay, so we have our Kimura flow, and this is a solid basic. A solid basic. You got to know how to go through and control, maintain control with the movements that he's doing. So you want to match him. Okay. Now I'm going to break the rules. I will use my thumb this time. Okay. I'm going to use my thumb and wrap around his wrist and just hold it here. Okay. Now most people, they will go through the same sequence where he'll straighten, okay, and he feels me not putting that straight arm lock on, so that he rolls it up, but I keep a bend in the wrist. And then we go into what's known as Nikyo in Aikido, or a really nasty wrist lock in BJJ. So this is dependent on you not forcing the issue. My elbow is a block, so he wants to roll this up because this is safety, you know? That's safety compared to where he was. So I'm gonna use my thumb, he straightens, and I'm just gonna hold on really, really loosely because I want him to do the work of bringing this up and positioning the hand, okay? So as he rolls this up to that americana position, he's not feeling anything until the very end. So the thumb is up, the pinky is down, and then I rotate it back into him, okay? I don't need to connect my hands or do any of that stuff, all right? Here we are. He straightens, oh, nothing. He continues to roll it up, and if anything, I'll push up, and then I roll this in. No one ever expects this. Everyone expects the traditional sequence, right? So when he zips it up there, I just have to hold on loosely, and then go back, okay? So let's try that. Let's try that. It should be, if everyone turns a thumb down, puts the thumb over on top, and roll that in. Okay, so thumb down, this other thumb goes on top, and you roll it into you. That's the feeling. All right, 1, 2, 3. You feel like, okay, that's Kimura thread. Right, and you're like, oh, I'm not there, I'm just hold on. Yes, pinky down. So I think this is a good time to take a break. And Kimura is incredibly valuable as a submission. You can use it, you can hit it from all kinds, you hit it from the bottom, you hit it from the top, you can hit it when they have your back. There's a number of positions. The more aware you are of your Kimura options, the more possibilities you'll have to come out victorious. So, and if you didn't get one or two of the techniques, it's totally okay. I want you to pull more of the principles of relaxation, spiraling in, and variable friction. When people resist you, don't totally let them go. Don't try to control everything. Let them go, and then you put on the brakes when you need to. All right, guys, let's have a 10-minute break. Thank you.